Good morning there, Blue Collar Nation. Donald here, coming at you this fine, beautiful September day. Today I'm going to show you how I calculate my hourly rate for my business. A lot of questions on it in the groups. How much do you charge for this, or how much should I charge for this? Guys, girls, if you don't know what to charge and asking your competitor is just, you might as well ask your kid, because most of your competitors don't know how to do it either. So it's like blind leading the blind out there. There is a set number you need to make in order to be profitable. And this formula I use has worked well for me. And most of the time, almost every time someone goes down that hasn't done this and put their numbers in there and figured out what they needed, they're surprised. And then they realize why they've been losing money or just barely getting by. This formula, you know, it's not exact science because your expenses aren't exact. Or I don't know what your expenses are. You've got to know what your expenses are for this to work. If you fudge on your expenses, or you don't include this or you don't include that, this formula is worthless. It's all dependent on how honest you are with yourself. Okay? So what I first do, start it from the basics. 52 weeks in a year, that's 2,080 hours. Based on a 40-hour week, that is 2,080 hours you have to work. Now, there are 10 U.S. holidays. So that's 80 hours right there that you subtract, or I subtract. Let me chase this squirrel real quick. If you're not taking vacations and days off, you might as well have a real job. I mean, you're not doing yourself or your company or your family a favor. So I try to take a lot of holidays off unless it's emergency service, and then Christmas and Thanksgiving always take off. No matter what. I don't care if my house, water's coming out of my house, you got to come shut it off. Here's a plumber's number. Call him. So we got 10 years holidays. We're down to 2,000 hours now, because we subtract that 80 hours for the holidays from the 2,080. So now we're at 2,000. Then you got 2 weeks of vacation in there. That's another 80 hours you subtract. Now we're down to 1,920 hours. And you need to figure in a couple sick days. Figure in 5 a year. Okay, brings us down. That's 40 hours. That brings us down to 1,880 hours that we have available to work. And this formula will also kind of work for your employee. If you have employees, it works for your employees too. Now you have to figure out how much you want to make a year. And for this example, let's say 50,000. Well, that's what you want to make for your employees. Let's start with 50,000. So we take 50,000, we divide that by 1,880, and we come up with $26.60. Now, if you've lied to yourself before about the vacation and the sick days and stuff like that, your time's going to be lower. I think there's probably, I've known people in the past who did that just to try to make their numbers lower so they don't feel so, you know, I don't know, so they don't feel guilty or something, you know. But anyway, now we're at $26.60. That's $50,000 a year divided by 1,800 hours that we can work. But that's not the total number. You have mandatory business expenses. Business license, things you got to pay, workers' comp, if you've got employees, stuff like that you've got to pay no matter what. For me, it comes out about $8 an hour to cover all those. And when do you know if the phone rings? Sorry guys, okay, I'm back. Had to take that little phone call there and look me another job. That's what it's all about. Okay. I forgot where I was at. Talking about mandatory biz expenses. And I think I told you mine come up around $8 an hour. So that takes us up to $34.60 an hour that we have to have in order to make $50,000 in a year. But we're still not there. That's still not the real number. There's a thing that most business people will call SGA, that's selling, general, and administrative expenses. I put under my selling expenses, that's everything that is included to do your job. I put my tools under there, rent, if I'm buying any insurance, life insurance, business insurance, stuff like that, that goes under there. Fuel, unless you're counting your miles, one or the other goes under there. General expenses are things that don't relate to selling or under administrative. And administrative expenses are things like maybe you have to have a business license or a you know, trade license or something like that. Things you have to have just in general to be out there making money, for your company to be out there making money. I don't, you know, I break it down, and I usually don't have too many general expenses, but you know, your utilities go into that. Man, there's a lot of resources on the internet to find and break your expenses down. And I will have a link below to this article on my blog, and I broke it down there. And I don't know if I said earlier or not, seeing that's where it goes, but anyway, that link will be there. I've broken this whole formula down. And I'm working with a code developer now, developing for a calculator that when he gets it down and we get it all implemented, all you'll have to do is just go in, put your numbers in, hit calculate, and it'll spit out a hourly number. Now again, it won't be exact because there's just too many, but it'd be, you know, there's too many things in the world that aren't exact variables, but it'd be pretty close. So now that we've taken in our SGA expenses, and most companies or most small businesses that I've talked to, their SGA expenses are 13 to 17%, someplace in that ballpark. And for the sake of this argument, I'm going to say mine's 15%, which is pretty close. But some people will take salaries of their employees. If you have salaries and employees, you would put this in your SGA. And if you don't, you're just doing this for you, it's kind of already figured in, so I subtract 5%. So let's just say we're a solo operation. Our SGA goes down to 10% because we were done taking into account our pay salary above. So now we take out 10%, and we're going to times that times 34.60, which is $3.46, which puts we add that on to our hourly rate. Now we're up to $38.06 an hour. But there's still one other thing we got to add. See, this is where people doing their own business stuff, you know, well, what does Bob charge do? Well, my competitors charge this, so I got to charge that. Again, that is the stupidest way to run a business. Stupid. Basing your prices off your competitor, who probably doesn't know how to do this either, is stupid, and that's a good way to go out of business. Next, the last thing we got is profit margins. Profit margins for your company. Now, some people say, I only want to, you know, 10% or 20%. I shoot for 50% on every job. Sometimes I don't get that, but sometimes it's less, and sometimes it's a little more. But let's just say, for sake of argument, you wanted 10%. Okay, we would take 10% of the 38.06. That'd bring us up to $41.87 an hour for a 10% margin, profit margin. That's what you would have to make on every job. Now, I don't charge by the hour. I charge either by the day or half day. I don't really break it down into quarter days because that'd be, you know, 2 hours. If I'm trying to get a job done, that's from the time I'm leaving the house to if I have to drive 20 or 30 minutes to a job. And you got to take that time into account. That's your time from when time you leave the house or your shop or your office till you get back in the afternoon. All that time in between driving time has to be accounted for. So, like I said, I usually go for 50%, so I'm about 55 an hour to get to 50,000, if that's what I really want. You just have to come down to how much do I want to make a year on this? How much will it take for me to support my family and what the things we like to do. Now, if you like to go to Colorado skiing or surfing or, you know, a lot of expensive vacations on those 2 weeks, then obviously you're going to have a higher need for a higher income than, say, someone like me who just goes fishing or goes camping in the woods and goes hunting. So you have to take all those into account. You should know when you start about how much you want to make a year. There has been some posts here lately of guys who go, well, I'm just doing this on the side. I've got a main job over here, and so it doesn't really matter what I charge. Seriously? There again, stupid. Okay, I got my main job. Let's say I make $20 an hour at my main job. I'm going to do a handyman job. Well, I make $20. I'll charge $20 an hour. In reality, you're losing money. If you do this, you're going to see it. You're not going to make money at $20 an hour, even part-time. So now, your handyman job is costing you money from your real job because you don't know what your expenses are. You don't know how to charge. So your stupidity is costing you money. So now you got to work harder at your real job to fund your handyman job. You might as well do your handyman work for free. You'll be money ahead. Just don't charge nothing. Some of these people. So anyway, don't mean to get off on that rant, but doesn't matter if you're doing full-time or part-time. You need to know your numbers. Do the formula. See what you need to be making, because I guarantee you probably at least half of y'all are not making what you need to be in business. And it doesn't matter what Joe Blow competitor down the street charges. Well, you can't get those rates around here. I wouldn't do no work at all if I thought. You might as well get you a regular job because you have no business being in business. It just, you know, to the south of here are several counties that are really poor. But I still, you know, when I say really poor, I bet the median income is around $32,000 a year there. I still got customers down there that are paying me top dollar, 55 plus an hour, to work, to do jobs. And some of them don't make that much. But they gotta have stuff done. The call I just got, the retiree, said, come on, give me an estimate. I want you to do this and this while you're here. Give me an estimate on this other stuff. I'll budget it in over a period of a couple months. Hey, works for me. So there's a lot that goes into figuring your hourly rate, but it's not hard. You just have to, you know, if I want to make $50,000 a year, this is what I have to do. Around, you know, for a 50% profit margin, I have to do around $55 an hour. My rate is a little higher than that, but even in the poor counties, still plenty of people who want quality work. It's just mind-boggling. People say, well, you can't charge that around here, people won't pay it. I remember when I was a home inspector and I moved up here and I told my dad what I was getting in Houston for home inspection. Oh, you Ain't nobody gonna pay you $400 for a home inspection around here. This is 2010 or 9 or something like that. Maybe no, it's about 2008, I guess. But anyway, I said, well, we'll see. Within a week, I had a $450 inspection, and I had another $375 inspection on a little tiny condo. People will pay, but if all you do is chase after the bottom feeders, and that's all you'll ever have. So anyway, that's another video on customers. So anyway, this is how you will calculate your hourly rate. So Donald, and make sure you check out that blog post below. I've got it kind of broke down a little bit more. So anyway, we'll talk to you later. Donald, Blue Collar DIY. I'm out of here. Cut it. Film it. Let's get it.